Hello students, let us continue with the cockroach type study topic. In this video, we are going to study the respiratory system of cockroach. Now, respiratory system of cockroach is something different. You cannot compare it with the other animals. I think you are familiar with the respiratory system of higher animals where the respiratory system is made up of the opening called nose through which the air enters and then it passes through the structures, the passages, and then ultimately it's going to reach the lungs or something like that. But in cockroach, the respiratory system is made up of a system of tubes. We are going to call them as tracheae. This system of tubes is filled with air. Now that is a very important thing. As you are already familiar, the body cavity of the cockroach is called hemocoel, and this hemocoel is filled with hemolymph. And in this hemolymph, you find this system of tubes, and this system of tubes is filled with air. Now you can imagine a fluid in which you find a system of pipes having air inside that. Now there is an exchange of gases between the hemolymph fluid and the air present in this tracheal system. So that is the speciality of the respiratory system in cockroach. The respiratory system of cockroach is made up of a network of branched closed tubes called trachea. So this picture shows the network of branched tubes which is filled with air. Now that is the important point which we need to remember. This system of trachea is literally filled with air and this system is dipped in the body fluid called hemocoel. Now just imagine a tube which is having air inside it and outside it is covered by the fluid called hemocoel. So there is an exchange of gases between the fluid, that is body fluid, and the air inside the tube-like structures called trachea. Now this system of trachea is mainly made up of three pairs of large parallel longitudinal tracheal trunks. That means we find three major tracheal trunks running from anterior to posterior part. One pair of tracheal trunk is on the dorsal side, I mean on the upper side, and one pair we find on the ventral side and another pair on the lateral side. You just imagine the cockroach having one large trunk running from head to the last part of the abdomen on the dorsal side and another pair of tracheal trunks running on the ventral side and another pair, the third pair on the lateral side. So like this, the tracheal system is made up of three longitudinal tracheal trunks. Three main tracheal trunks, one dorsal, one ventral and one lateral tracheal trunks. They are connected with each other by means of transverse commissures. Here you can see the ventral dorsal trunks connected with each other by means of these transverse commissures, transverse tubes, and like this the whole system of trachea is interconnected. So it forms a common space filled with air. The three tracheal trunks open to the outside through the 10 pairs of openings called spiracles. In higher animals, what happens? There is nasal opening which connects the lungs through the respiratory tube. Nasal openings are the openings through which the air is going to enter into the respiratory tract. Now here in case of cockroach, there are 10 pairs of such openings called spiracles. And There are 2 pairs located in the thoracic region and 8 pairs located in the abdominal region. Now, where do you find these spiracles? Spiracles are located at the junction of terga and sternum. You just think of cockroach, the dorsal part and the ventral part. And at the junction of these dorsal and ventral part, representing terga and sternum, we find the spiracles. The spiracles are guarded by valves which control the movement of air. Like this, spiracles, there are 10 pairs of spiracles which are the openings through which the air is going to enter into the respiratory system of cockroach. The 3 main trunks of tracheae, they give rise to smaller branches of uh, tube-like structures called tracheoles. And these tracheoles form a network in the body or in the hemocoel of the cockroach, and they remain in contact with each and every cell of the body. So you can just imagine the 3 main tracheal trunks, dorsal, ventral and lateral. They give rise to fine branches called tracheoles. Tracheoles are also filled with air. These tracheoles ultimately reach each and every cell of the body. That means all the tissues of the cockroach body have tracheoles from which they are going to get the oxygen directly. They remain in contact with each and every cell of the body, which I already mentioned. The oxygen that enters through this spiracle reaches to all parts of the body through the network of tracheae and tracheole. Just with this picture, you can just visualize the air that enters through the spiracles. First, it is going to enter into the tracheal trunks, the dorsal, ventral and lateral. And from these tracheal trunks, uh, the air is going to enter into the tracheoles. Tracheoles are in direct contact with the tissues and cells. All the cells are in direct contact with the tracheoles. That means the air uh, is ultimately going to reach each and every cell of the body. That's how the cells exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide with the air through the tracheoles. Now that's about the respiratory system of cockroach, and in the next part of the video we are going to study the nervous system of the cockroach. Thank you.